You might be surprised to learn that there's a city on Earth that's closer to space than you might think. In fact, it's so high up that the sky above it is a deeper shade of blue during the day and a darker shade of black at night due to its extreme proximity to the cosmos. When we think about urban areas, we often imagine bustling streets, towering skyscrapers, and a general sense of being firmly planted on the ground. But what if I told you that there's a city out there that defies these expectations, one that's literally closer to the stars than any other? People often assume that Mount Everest is the closest point to space on Earth, but that's not entirely accurate. While it's the tallest mountain above sea level, its altitude isn't the same as its distance from space. You see, altitude is measured from sea level, but the distance from space is measured from the center of the Earth. This is a crucial distinction because it means that a spot with a lower altitude can still be closer to space than a spot with a higher altitude, depending on its location on the planet. Another common misconception is that the distance from space is solely determined by altitude. But this ignores the fact that the Earth is not a perfect sphere. It's slightly flattened at the poles and bulging at the equator. This means that a spot near the equator will be slightly farther from the center of the Earth than a spot at the poles, even if they're at the same altitude. So when we're talking about the city closest to space, we need to consider not just its altitude but also its latitude and longitude. As we dig deeper into this question, we need to start looking at specific locations and their unique characteristics. We need to consider the geological features of the surrounding terrain, the weather patterns, and even the historical context in which the city was built. All of these factors come into play when determining which city can claim the title of being closest to space. La Rinconada, Peru is a small mining town nestled in the Andes Mountains, over 5,000 meters above sea level. The town is situated in a region known as the Altiplano, a high-altitude plateau that stretches across parts of Peru, Bolivia, and Chile. This region is renowned for its thin air, extreme weather, and rugged terrain. The town itself is built on a hillside, with many of its buildings perched precariously on the steep slopes. Geologically speaking, La Rinconada is situated in a region of significant tectonic activity, where the Nazca Plate is being subducted beneath the South American Plate. This process has created the Andes mountain range, which is still growing to this day. The town's location in the midst of this geological upheaval has created a unique environment, with hot springs, geysers, and even volcanic activity shaping the landscape. La Rinconada's history is also fascinating, with the town being founded in the 1960s as a result of a gold rush. The town's economy is still largely based on mining, with many of its inhabitants working in the nearby gold and silver mines. The town's remote location and harsh environment make it a challenging place to live, but its stunning natural beauty and rich history make it a compelling destination for adventurous travelers. So what makes La Rinconada stand out as the city closest to space? When we combine its extreme altitude with its location near the equator, we get a city that's literally closer to the cosmos than any other. In fact, La Rinconada is a staggering 17 kilometers closer to space than Mount Everest, despite being over 1,000 meters lower in altitude. This makes it the undisputed champion of cities when it comes to proximity to space. To recap, we've explored the surprising fact that La Rinconada, Peru, is the city closest to space, thanks to its combination of extreme altitude and equatorial location. We've delved into the geographical and scientific aspects of this unique city, and discovered what makes it stand out from the rest. What do you think about La Rinconada's claim to fame? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let us know what other strange and fascinating topics you'd like to see us explore in future videos.